Hey friend, it's Brian here. It has been a long time. I'm not sure if I know how to do this anymore. It's been so long, but I'm gonna try my best. This is take two for me. Hopefully this is the one that sticks. I've been away for a while. I'm sorry, but Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, and Happy birthday for anyone's all the birthdays that I've missed. I haven't been away. I've been away for so long. I've been kind of embarrassed to come back because of how long it's been. I've also my spirit has just been in a lot of different places. I've been busy. I've been my plate has been full, and I haven't always been in the greatest spirits, if I'm just being honest. So to do the reaction videos, so there's been a lot of reasons why, and I do want to come back and hang out with you guys. I miss you guys terribly, and thank you for all of the new friends that have come to the channel, watching the old videos and commenting, and much appreciation to my old friends and my best friends who are coming back and who miss me. I miss you guys too. I really do. I really do. It's been it's been it's been it's been something these past few months. I want to kind of explain what's been going on. 'Cause I just feel like if I don't say anything, I just won't be able to do it. You know, and if I don't do it now, probably I've been putting it off. So, 2019 was a year of goodbyes for me. You guys, if you guys are faithful with the channel, you know that in March my grandfather passed. I'm trying not to use the words loss. I'm trying to just say transition and pass because it's a lot easier to digest someone transitioning than losing someone. How can you ever get over losing someone? You know. Anyway, maybe I'll talk about that a little bit later. My ideas of that, because I've had so much of it happen. I had to formulate some to get through it. But my grandfather passed in March, right? And what was hard about his passing was that he was the first person that died in my family for a long time, and he was the first person that died in my life that was an important part of my family tree. And you know, we just hadn't experienced that before. And then his death led to kind of a downward spiral of my grandmother. And him and my grandmother, they were each other. They were just each other's world, life, you know. And my grandmother passed in September, 6 months after my grandfather. And what was she didn't just die. It was a long journey to her transition. She was in and out of the hospital, in and out of the hospital. She was in and out of the hospital, and then eventually she made her way. She went to hospice, you know. And what was really the months of and then saying that she was in the hospital, like the toll that it took on my family. Like she was in the hospital, so my family was going to the hospital to be with her, and she was in and out of the hospital for a very long time, a very long time. And my family were amazing. They were there with her. They were there with her. They were there with her. It was just a long process, and it got really hard because she wanted to die. She wanted to. I never. Oh God, I never witnessed that before. I never. There was one day where we were at the hospital, not in hospice, but at the hospital, where she started singing. So at this point, she was not talking, and she wasn't talking very much. And my mom had on some religious music, and she started singing. And it has led to, and then like I said, she wasn't talking, and she was singing loud. Her voice was just like loud, it was filling up the whole room, and then it just turned into sobbing and chanting, and she was just saying how she wanted to go home, and she was saying how she was going to miss everybody, but she just wanted to go home. And you know, I never really experienced anything like that before. You know, it was, and no one could do anything or say anything. You know, we could just be there, and she didn't pass. Like it was weeks later that she passed, and she was just in pain and hurting, and I don't know. It was really rough to see that slow transition, but perhaps it was a good thing because with the loss of my grandfather and my aunts and my uncles, my mom, the loss of their dad, they probably just needed time before they lost their mom as well, or their mom transitioned. Um, yeah. So with that comes a lot of things too, because it's getting hard. Um, they're both gone now, and then like a lot of things go with that, like their home and all of the memories there, and I don't know, this kind of like the idea of family. Do you, how does it work now if part of it starts to fade away, you know? Um, yeah. So dealing with that, the same, I can't really continue. Oh God. Um, the same day that my grandmother passed, um, one of my students was shot and killed. Man, I don't really talk about it, so it's really hard to talk about these things. A lot happened. Um, and it wasn't that he was just shot and killed. Um, the day he passed, the the last God, the last hour and 30 minutes of school, he came to my room. So I had found out that my excuse me, I had found out that my grandmother passed that morning. She died about 10 in the morning, and I had fourth period off, and I was looking towards that fourth period all day long, so I could just kind of be and feel however I needed to feel. 'Cause I was taking the funk, trying to get through the day, with the kids. And this is a high school, by the way. And that particular day, the kids were they wouldn't leave me alone. They were just doing so much and just needed my attention and all this kind of stuff. And I was just trying my best. So once that fourth period came, I was like, thank God. So I'm sitting down, and all of a sudden I hear a knock on my door, and it's my student Cornelius. And he doesn't even say anything. He just pushes it right past me and was like, I need to sit in here for a little while. And despite how I was feeling, I always had this philosophy that if the kids needed somewhere to be, I would let them be in my room or wherever I was, because I'd rather them be somewhere around me as opposed to getting in trouble, doing something they had no business doing. Because this is a high school, and these teenagers they were good kids, but they did teenage stuff, you know. And they also live in the inner city, so they have inner city problems that I never experienced growing up. 'Cause I grew up differently. And I spent an hour and 30 minutes with him. Eventually, during the hour and 30 minutes, like I said, I couldn't catch a break. His best friend came into the room. He was looking for a place to take a Spanish test. I'm like, a Spanish? So he came in, and I got a chance to really hear him talk. Because for whatever reason, when they were in the room, I kind of disappeared a little bit. And I got to hear him really talk as himself, you know, as he would with his friend. And I was just listening to them. And this haunts me. It'll probably always haunt me. He just kept saying that day was the most fun he had ever had in school. He just kept saying, this is the most fun I ever had in school today. So it was the best day. So it was the best day. And I got a chance just to be around him for. Now he was a good kid. I only taught him one time, but so all I have to do is I only have to teach you one time for you to be my student. And the teacher was out that day, and they asked me to go into the room. And ever since that time, I kind of just filled in for that particular class. He always just kind of, when he would see me in the hallways, he was kind of go out of his way to always say hello and to acknowledge and just kind of, I don't know, look to me, look up to me. You know, he was my student at that point, and which is just is so odd because he wasn't my everyday student. For him to come be in my class, the last class he ever had was mine, and he was shot and killed that night. And I had never been in a situation where I had been around someone that died so closely to my time and interaction with them. You know, it really threw me for a loop. It really threw me for a loop. It really threw me for a loop. And he was murdered, you know, and over silly stuff, teenage drama that didn't even involve him. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, and it broke my heart. It really did. It broke my heart to hear that. Um, Additionally, saying goodbye, whenever I found out that he was passing, I also found out that my time at that school had came to an end because I was only there temporarily, even though it gets really rough when I get these temporary positions like that because I pretty much started the school year with these kids, so and I was there for a good while, so we I became their teacher, you know, like their teacher, and not their temporary teacher. Oh God, excuse me. And just create these bonds. For whatever reason, I never. This is the first high school that I ever really worked at, and I wasn't sure about it. But I really I love these kids. I fell in love with these kids, and I stayed. I stayed as long as I did because of of them. Because of them, there was this. They had a. They were really special, and it was hard work. I was struggling to juggle my art career, and teaching, but I was doing the best I could. But I knew that once I knew I couldn't hold on, so they kept asking me to become full time, but I just couldn't do it. But to find out that the position was ending at that time whenever Cornelius passed was really difficult because I had to say goodbye to all of them, and it was hard. They took it hard. You know, they I mean, they one of the students stopped talking to me for a day. Um, they were sad. They were trying to come up with ways to get the new teacher fired. And you know, I met the new teacher. I knew that they were gonna like him a lot. Um, and they were also okay as well, which is kind of sad too because they're so used to people leaving, and I felt bad about that as well. It was really difficult. I miss those kids. My students become my everyday. I don't have a lot of people in my life. I have a lot of friends. I'm in a lot of different groups and stuff. I meet a lot of people. I love a lot of people, but I don't have a lot of everyday. I don't have any everyday person in my life. So my students become my everyday source of joy and love and purpose. You know. So losing them or saying goodbye to them was really difficult because I would get up in the morning for them, you know. All right, so there's that. Um, in October, um, it just gets harder and harder. I um, I get a call from my mom. Man, I've really processed this one. I wasn't able to go to the funeral, but one of my favorite people in the whole world passed. Her name was Alma Daracel. We called her Miss Shaky. I haven't really been able to process that one because I wasn't able. Excuse me. I knew this was going to happen. This is why I kept putting off this video. Uh, excuse me. I wasn't able to go to her funeral, so it's almost like I don't have any closure. You know, like did it really happen? Like I don't know. But she passed, and she was one of my favorite people in the world. One of my favorite people in the world. So she passed, and then I went to an audition. I went to an audition because I had an audition, and then when I got back from the audition, I found out that my uncle passed. It's been crazy. I wasn't able to go to his funeral as well, so I don't have much closure on that either. And I can't pinpoint the exact moment if this happened before or after, because that happened. They passed on the same day. But during this time as well, my little cousin, uh, Andrew, he was taken to the ICU for complications with his heart. Um, and he was where he lived. The hospital wasn't really good, so they were able to get him stable enough, and they um, transported him to New Orleans, which is where I am, and there became a really long journey. Um, the long journey of my cousin being in the ICU, um, and I really wanted to be there to support my family that was here. His mom, which is my cousin, and her sisters and everyone. I really wanted to be there 'cause I couldn't be there for so many of my other family members during that hard time. I really wanted to be there to support. So I did. I went there. I went to the hospital as many times as I could. I still feel like it wasn't enough, and I was there supporting my cousin. I stayed there. I stayed over with her uh, a few nights. I would go there. Uh, um, he was, goodness gracious, how old was Andrew? He was 22, 23, 22. The number is escaping my mind right now, but he spent 64 days in ICU, and he died in December 22nd. He passed, and we thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna get better. He had got better, and then he passed. So yeah, it was a hard year. It was a really, really hard year. I haven't really talked about it with anybody because I just kind of kept those things in. Now, it wasn't, in addition to this, there are other things going on, right? So some of the good things was that, like, while my grandmother was going through her things, I was blessed with my first leading male role in a SAG film. Though it was a short film, it was a student film, it was a SAG film. Um, I I was worried the whole time that she was going to pass while I was on set, and I was able to. Once we stopped filming, I rushed to the hospice to see her, um, so I didn't miss a chance to talk to her last. Other good things. I the audition that I went on whenever the day that Miss Alma, Miss Shaky passed and my uncle passed, I booked that role, and I also booked another role. Um, so one was the lead role in a play, in which I've never had a lead role in a play before. The lead role, the title role in a play. So and that was what was going on that prevented me from going to the funerals. Also, their funerals was on the same day, my uncle and then Miss Shaky. and my whole family traveled to New Mexico where my uncle was, and I couldn't be with them. But I couldn't go because I had booked that role on that play, and I was the title character. I was the lead character, so I had a responsibility to be there because they really, they couldn't do without me. And then the role that I booked the audition, I'm currently doing that play now. Um, and it's a really cool play. It's something totally different, and I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to be in something that I've never to be in a play that's so different in all of my years of doing theater, to be in something so different. Yeah, so I'm still blessed. And one last thing, not to harp back on the things, but to get it out, the whole while, like all the losing of things, the other thing that's kind of been bothering me is that I've had there's someone in my life that I've just had like feelings for a very long time now, and um, it just isn't working out. It just isn't working out, and I'm just it's been so frustrating because I don't know how to make it work, and essentially it's because it's not supposed to, I guess, but it's just so frustrating because there's this spark between us that just seems so nice and so sweet, but so nice and so sweet, so nice and so sweet, and that's what creates my feelings. But there's this other side to. I'm sorry, I'm talking in riddles and very vaguely, but there's this other side um, to them that's not as sweet and nice, and it's disappointing and it's confusing, and I'm frustrated also with this how my lack of growth in like my life, like my personal life, like I've seen growth in my artistic life, but like I try not to focus on the love of romance because there's so many other forms of love, but it's still something that the heart desires, and it's not being able to see it happen is something that I thought that I had been okay with, and I was going to just focus, but like seeing being so close to death so many times, it makes me afraid that I won't get to certain personal dreams I have in my life before my time is up. You know, so it gets really frustrating. It gets really really frustrating because I get so sure that like the feelings that I have for whoever, I don't really like many people, so whenever I have those feelings like you just think that God places this person in my life, like there's a reason why I like them, and you want to kind of see it through, but it never becomes that. For me at least, it never really becomes that, and it's just been really disappointing, and especially like wanting to have something to look forward to on like hard moments, hard days. I'm basically responsible to care for myself now, which I think you always are. But I don't know, just kind of have like that person that loves you and can love you through it. Sometimes when you're just feeling low, it would have been really nice, especially like when you like somebody, they just kind of uplift you. You know what I mean? It just lifts your spirits, and some days I just have to just stay so low because I'm broken, and if I keep trying to pick myself up when when my spirit is that heavy, it won't work. So I just have to stay broken for a little while, as long as it takes until my spirit lifts, eases up, and I can pick it back up again. And not saying that I want to put that burden on anybody, but it'll just be nice to I don't know. Love. I don't know. I don't know how to. I thought when I thought about saying that part of it, it thought it would come out a lot more eloquent, and it's not. I liked someone. It didn't, and it didn't work out. On top of everything, that's kind of like the straw. You know, that's like the thing that just kind of really, literally, that's been the thing that really hurt me. The final straw. Like after all of that hurt, to have that happen, like you thought. That's not how the stories go. Like you're supposed to at least find love, you know. But whatever. So that's what happened. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking it day by day, like literally day by day, and I am focusing on like exercising and focus on exercising now. I started back today, really. Like today was because the new year has been hard to really focus on exercising because there's been so much going on in this few days of the new year. It really feels like it's already like 6 months in for me. It's been a lot. But like the play is going on, and I was just trying to get back to center, back to me, and focus on what are my biggest goals and the dreams that I have. And there's just some things that make me really sad because there's some dreams I don't have any control over, like love and friendships outside of you guys. Like friendships is just so difficult. Oh, friendships can be so hard, but like all of those relationship stuffs, I don't have the same control over it as I would like to have. You know, I don't know. So I'm focusing on what I can control and trying not to let things that I can't make me break my spirit. And it's just easier to break my spirit because my spirit is just it's a little bit more fragile, you know. So I intend to be back soon. If that doesn't happen, please forgive me. But my intentions are to be back soon with your reaction videos. I miss you guys terribly. But I just had to. I'm happy I did this. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload it or not. But if you've seen this, then I did. Cause I'm kind of. This was a lot. This was a lot. This was a lot. But this is what been my life. Yeah, I'm okay. And I hope you've been okay. And if you want to, my good friends, my best friends, if you want to leave in the comments, this is an update on what's been going on in your life. Feel free to. And if you want to kind of keep up to date with me, you can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram at Brian Art World. Brian Art World. If you kind of just want to, I don't know, be more, if you just want to be more, involved with me because, this channel here is mostly reactions, but, I do, I have more life than that. So, anyway, I am going to go because this was a lot and I'm kind of feeling spent. But thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I love you. Happy New Year. And I hope this doesn't bring me down. At the end of all of this, there's a lot of hope. Still, hope still. And like I said, I didn't. Though so many people died, they just to me. I'll say this: I look at death now as I try not to look at it as something that's happening to me. I think sometimes when people die, it becomes such a it's sad and it becomes such a big burden on those who are still living, because you're just filled with so much sadness. But I think it's important not to make that death about you. It should be a reminder for you to live, as opposed to something that keeps you from living. You know, and that's a hard thing to go. That's a hard thing to act. It's easy to say and hard to do, but it's supposed to be a reminder because the time that you have is just so precious. It's precious, so you got to do all you can while you're alive. And my frustration is, for me, is that is not knowing how to do some of those things. It seems like everything that I want to do, I really, it's all difficult. Whether it's art or love or whatever, all my dreams just seem so far away sometimes. So that's what gets me down. But I tell myself that it's not a loss. People say, I'm sorry for your loss, but I still accept that. But I tell myself that it's not a loss because I didn't lose anybody. I didn't lose my grandfather. I didn't lose my grandmother. I didn't lose my student. I didn't lose my. I didn't lose Miss Shake. I didn't lose my uncle. I was allowed them. I was allowed them for the time that I have. So it's not. It's not a loss. It's not a loss because I was allowed them. And when I look at it like that, it gives me a bit more peace. It still hurts. It still hurts a lot, obviously. But if I look at if I look at it if I look at it as a loss, I'm always going to be losing. And there's no way to get over losing that much or that hard, especially when it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. So, and that makes me really, really nervous. It really, really does. But I just have to know that I've been allowed these people and to love on those that I can as hard as I can while I'm allowed to. And that's what I've been trying to do. That's what I've been trying to do. So I love you guys. And I need to take that, my own words, and I love on you guys harder too. So that's in my mind as well. I'm loving everyone as much as I can for as long as I can because it's precious. So I'm sorry that I just can't haven't been doing that. But I'm coming back. Okay? I love you. I have to get out of here, but I love you guys, okay? Peace. Bye.